What is up, everybody? Hello and welcome to ROG Pulse. Today's a little bit different, as you can see. We're doing a live build.
It's not different. It's the same. Looks the same.
Does it? I feel like I'm in
What's
an
different?
alien wasteland.
I like your ROG Polo. They never gave me one of those.
This is why I got it at Gamescom
Fancy man.
a couple of years ago. Yeah. I wanted to, cosplay today. I'm a tech guy, tucked in polo. That's new for
You
me.
do. Yes, you look like an IT guy or like a tech, like a Geek Squad employee.
You like that mustache?
You working on a mustache? You doing that too?
Oh yeah. Potentially going to be J. Jonah Jameson for Halloween, so I got to get a
Oh,
mustache
so
going.
you got to grow the mustache. Now, how do I say this?
I gotta nail the 90s or the early 2000s Spider-Man J. Jonah Jameson the best I can, because that to me is just iconic. Like, he is perfect. Everything in his energy, his facial expressions. Yeah. Muted. What? Yeah, we have audio, right? I see audio in OBS. Oh,
What?
I muted Woodson. LOL. It's okay. There's a lot of moving parts. You didn't want to hear what he had to say anyways. Blame Whitson. Yeah, that was me.
I was asking him what kind of mustache he was growing. If he was going to go for a more modern J. Jonah Jameson mustache or more of a, shall we say, Charlie Chaplin style.
Yeah.
Other people are also known for that mustache, but don't need to
That's fine.
rehash that today.
Nope. Man,
We are doing it live. This is live.
This is
That's
live.
how we roll.
This is live. I think this is the first live PC build I've ever done on this channel. That's okay. So we're
No,
experimenting.
it's not.
The last PC, I filmed a bunch of content and talked about the build.
But the one before that was live.
I don't remember that, but
Now, I think this is the first build you've done where I was actually in town for it.
maybe.
It's always you and Lane. I just always happen to be out of town when you're building PCs.
This is one of the first time you've seen me standing.
He does have legs.
I have
if
legs.
you can believe it.
They stopped right here though. There's just that
He's
much.
He's actually quite tall, you guys.
No, I'm normal sized human.
No, I'm a normal sized human. Aren't you like 6'2"?
No, I'm 6 foot even, dude. I'm not that big.
Oh.
I'm like
Still above
generic
average.
skin. Okay, well, anyways, so the point of this build is because I already had an amazing PC put together that was slaying games and giving me excellent performance. We already had an X870E Hero, a Crosshair X870E Hero motherboard in that system with a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. And then recently they shipped me over a 5090 Astral. Now, that 5090 Astral just happened to be the BTF edition. So when we received that product, we're like, oh crap, that's a cool opportunity. So we said, hey, should we just do a BTF build? And they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. So here we are. I'm going to be upgrading from the X870E Hero to the BTF edition of that motherboard, which basically means all the connectors are on the back of the motherboard, but you need a case that's going to be compatible with a back connect motherboard. So we have the Hyperion BTF edition for that. So I've disassembled my old PC. I've started opening up the Hyperion, which I'll get up here in a second. And yeah, so I cheated a little bit in the sense of getting power supply in and some hard drives in and whatnot. But either ways, we're going to do
it's always a good cheat to do that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Jake?
Yeah.
If I go change the title of the Twitch stream, will I break anything?
No, you can do that.
While we're live? Okay, I didn't think so. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Paste in the one that I had updated.
The only problem with changing a title on a Twitch stream is when the video is done, it won't be up to date with what you changed it to. So it'll update for the live broadcast that people are seeing on Twitch live now, but for the VOD's going to be bound to the original title when the stream went live.
Boo. Okay.
I mean, we can just edit it after the fact, though. Not a problem.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we just have to do that manually. But
I will try to remember that. Okay. 10 Maya says, can we increase the volume of Jake's mic a little bit?
Yeah. Sure. Does that sound good? Is that better? Is it still too quiet? I can give myself a little bit of gain.
Just to see where it says, but in the meantime, he lost the BTF adapter of the 5090. So yeah, that is the thing. Jake could have just thrown that 5090 into his existing PC, right? Because our new 5090, you'll see when he pulls it out, it's got a little adapter on the end. You could pull it off. You can plug it into a normal PC, a non-BTF machine. And then if you decide to upgrade to a BTF build later on, it'll work in that too. So the new BTF graphics cards are designed for that kind of flexibility, which is really cool.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about it,
let's open it up. Let's see.
This is the adapter right here.
There you go.
This little silver piece that's going to clip on to the Astral 5090. Here's the juggernaut that it is. Now, normally you'd be getting your power right here. I've put the cap on that, so it's nice and, you know,
clean,
stealth and clean. Yeah. And then I will wait to connect this for when we are ready. But it's funny that you make that joke because I have a Rio 360 ARGB AIO, and I had replaced all the fans with Lian Li Infinity fans for my old build. Now I'm not putting Infinity fans in this build because this case has a totally different aesthetic. I'm not looking to have that kind of cube of glass with lots of RGB. It's going to be a very different aesthetic. So I didn't bring any of those fans over to this case. So I had to swap back to the stock fans for the Rio 3. And yeah, there are two like connector cables. I found them, but it took me some hunting between. I keep pretty much everything, but I can't claim I'm the most organized person in the world. And yeah, we found them, but I'm glad I gave myself some lead time for the build today. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just open the accessories box here for the Hyperion as we're going to get started. These are extension cables for the CPU power supply, I believe, if you need it for your situation. The Hyperion is a very tall case, so I believe
some cases are a little bit bigger, so sometimes you need an extension, especially if you want to route it behind the motherboard and get it around. I think our Helios sometimes needs those. I don't know about a Hyperion BTF because you're just connecting it to the back. You may be fine.
I probably won't need them, so I think we're going to probably end up ignoring that. We have this. I'm very excited to have this. This is a little just ROG like storage box for screws and whatnot. So
that's cool.
Pretty nifty. We'll need this guy, the random multi-connector for all the different LED lights and so on for the case.
Crazy Trezzy says, are they gonna release white versions of any of the BTF X870 motherboards? We can't tell you what is going to exist in the future, only what currently has been announced. So maybe time will tell. Keep your eyes on this channel and our social media.
Screwdriver, that's included. And there's actually something really cool about this screwdriver because you know, when you build a PC, you have the screwdriver, and I usually just take it and throw it in my motherboard box. This case actually has a spot for storing the screwdriver when it's already been built. So it's kind of cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a neat little thing, but also goes right there in my tray for now. I don't think we're going to need a lot of this stuff. These are just for like the little caps for like USB ports, it looks like. But these are our motherboard screws, so obviously we will want those. These are PSU screws and hard drive screws. I already attached them with different screws, so we're going to ignore them. I think we're just going to need the motherboard screws, to be honest with you. This is a vertical mount bracket. Not every case comes with these, but if you like to vertically mount your GPU, looks like we have an option here. I believe that's what this is. I don't know what else it would be.
I believe that's what that is too. Do you have a riser cable for it? Are you going to vertically
mount? I'm not vertically mounting. No, it would be a little awkward to do that with BTF. I feel since I'm using a BTF graphics card.
Oh yeah, right? I guess you're right. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, not everybody using the BTF case is necessarily going to have a BTF graphics card. So like, there's still use for this for some people.
Right.
But in my instance, I don't think there's any riser cable that would achieve that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. But you could still get the advantages of BTF for like the motherboard and other components that, right? You still have a very cable-free setup and just just connect the graphics card a normal way, right? Like it's up to you.
I'm sure there's
what
plenty of people
method
that
you
are
use for this stuff.
doing
If
exactly
you really
that.
want it to vertically mount it,
Yeah.
which for the Astral, oh my gosh. So I have to apologize. The Miramar Air Show is happening this week next to my house. It's where I live in San Diego, so there's a military base nearby, and at the end of every summer, I guess it's the beginning of fall now, they have the big air show where like the Blue Angels fly and do tricks and stuff. There's all kinds of crazy like jets and helicopters. It's really cool, and we can like see it from my house. My wife just texted me, rough day for a stream. Yeah, because something big just flew over and it's quite loud.
Yeah, I think
it's coming back. This is gonna be fun.
They're against us because there's a huge thunderstorm sweeping through here today too. So
awesome.
Yay, hopefully we don't lose power, but
I was just gonna say that would be the actual worst thing to happen.
Should be fine. But anyways, all right. This case is a chonker. It is huge. It has handles on the top, and they are intended to be used as handles for that purpose.
Amazing.
So, yeah, you can see the scale. This is big. I'm like having to adjust my desk for it. But honestly, I'm hyped because big cases mean lots of room for great cooling, lots of room for building. The way that graphics cards are going nowadays, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. You're not going to have any problem with upgradability in this. There's plenty of room for that. And it's not exactly like too big, but
plus there's something about having just a really imposing machine on your desk.
I want to go to a LAN party with just this curled, with my biceps flexing in my hand, mustache flushed, and just show people my beautiful case. But you can see I've taken off this bottom shroud. Normally there's a shroud here. I've taken off the doors. There's multiple, I mean, there's doors on both ends, obviously, but then there's a cable management door in the back. I have all of those things removed and the top cover, lots of vents. I left some of the vents on. You can see how easy they are to clean.
And you don't necessarily have to take all that stuff off. Like that one front panel, you can just open the door and build it that way. It's just gonna be easier for us to see it on stream if he kind of takes apart the case a little bit.
That is definitely a big motivator, was to get it all opened up. You know, my overlay is actually lying to you because this is actually a Thor 1600 watt. This is actually, yeah, I know.
Liar.
I know. Because I left the old power supply in the old system with the old motherboard and everything. And I just threw a Thor 1600 watt in here that they sent me forever ago. And it used to trip my breaker. But I've since installed new power lines in my office. So I get to finally utilize this guy. And I don't know if I'm actually going to get any more performance by having a
just old house problems.
Right. I know. That's so true. But
I'm fixing the link in the description now so people won't be lied to.
You're the best. Thank you.
Liar.
And I can, well, that's okay. But either way, Thor 1200 watt and above is pretty much what we suggest for using something like a 5090 with a Ryzen 7 9800X3D. That's pretty much where you want to be, because the 1200 watt I used in my old system worked phenomenally, worked great. But I was kind of excited to check out this 1600 watt since it's here. And I was like, hey, do you guys want me to send this back to the office? They're like, no, you can just have it. And I'm like, well, I want to use it. So
you'll need it one day.
Its time has come. Its time has come.
Banana Fire asks, when is the new controller releasing? Don't have a date on that yet, but stay tuned. And he says, is there any way to buy that pillow behind you? I don't know which one you're talking about, but I don't think either of those are just up for sale on our site. I believe both of those were promotional items that we had different ways that you could win them and things like that. Yeah. But I don't believe either of those are for sale, unfortunately. Did Jake forget to shave, or is he growing a 70s you-know-what stash?
Oh,
somewhat, yes. Jake's going as Jonah Jameson for Halloween. So
my wife laughs at me every time she sees me, and she hates the mustache with a burning passion. So it might hang around for even longer, because just to spite her.
So during COVID, I grew a beard like most people did. But then when I was kind of sick of it, I decided to shave it. But I was like, I got to have a great stash for at least like a day afterwards, right? So I had like a nice big handlebar heavy metal mustache, and it was excellent.
Heavy metal
mustache. My beard is like fiery red, so it was special looking. Wow. Jake sounds different because he's using a lavalier microphone. Yes. He doesn't have his normal mic setup because he's moving around. So
I am mobile today, and yeah, this case, I actually hadn't tried laying this down. It's like almost too big for this desk because this is a narrow workbench, but we're gonna make it work. It is quite tall. I'm just gonna have to be delicate.
I love that like decorative panel on the inside. That's gonna look really
yeah,
cool.
this has RGB built into it. It's gonna look super cool when
Yep.
it's lit up. And this is one of my favorite features. This is a built-in
Yes.
track for a riser cable. Now, we were talking
Well,
a
for
little.
it's a GPU support.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So it's GPU support bracket. It actually comes with two different brackets. So you can have they're both installed by default. They have this one here on
Oh,
the
neat.
lower one. This one is much larger. It's designed for vertical mounting. We're not going to be vertically mounting today, so I removed it already. But horizontal mounting, you just need this little guy. It has a nice little rubber pad on the top of it, and it's like stealth. You won't even see it.
It won't scratch up your card.
Yeah. So super nice. Obviously, I'll have to dial that in. It's just a little thumb screw you loosen, and it's got a track that goes up and down. If you were to be building in this case and you wanted to remove one yourself, you basically just loosen the screws and you take it all the way to the top right here. Comes right out, and then you just remove the one you don't want and put the other one you want back on. Okay, motherboard. So
are you going to use those hard drive cages at the bottom? Is that what those are?
I actually have 2 hard drives installed there. Yeah.
Oh wow! Look
at
Mr. Hard Drive.
I believe there are 4 SATA ports on the back of this motherboard. But the case really only has a spot for 3. So that's interesting.
Because I mean, most people just use M.2 these days.
So I'm gonna have 3 M.2s.
But with an SSD, you could throw it anywhere there's space.
Right, that's true. No, you could definitely make it work. There's plenty of room for it, but I could be wrong, but I know there's a spot right here on the back right here, and there's the 2 in the cage, so you can attach 3 there. I didn't see another location, but I very well could have missed that if it does exist.
In the past, I just had mine hanging out in the back.
Oh yeah, no, I've absolutely done that too. I've seen people.
I have 2 2.5 inch hard drives, like spinning hard drives. I still have 2 of those like laptop hard drives from old laptops that I mount those because you kind of want those screwed in place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I cheated and already put the CPU on. That's okay. So that's there. And I cheated and I already put some of the M.2s on, but let's get this motherboard in place.
Belsmere says, any special spots for water cooling? Yeah, we got some room for radiators and stuff like that in here. If you have a custom setup, it's a very spacious case. So if you have like a cool reservoir or something you wanted to put in there, there's probably plenty of spaces you could do that for sure.
Yeah, there's even another radiator spot behind this on the other side of the case.
Yeah, that's right. Lots and lots of space in this one. By the way, if you are looking at potential cases, we did an episode a few weeks ago detailing all of the different cases that Asus and ROG offer. Because with ROG, we only have a couple cases, but we also offer a lot of cases from like the Asus line and the Tough Gaming line and things like that would also work great for an ROG PC if you're building something a little more compact or whatever. So I'll throw this.
Yep.
Throw this in there. Jonathan, we are not giving this build away. This is actually Jake's build. This is the build that he'll be streaming on when he's not streaming on laptops or the Ally or things like that.
Yeah, this is something we'll be using for Silent Hill F tomorrow. Assuming that nothing terrible.
Assuming you get it all working.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I think we'll be fine.
I got the BTF version and wanted to put it on a water block, but realized nothing supports it yet, Belsmere says. I don't know. Yeah, so that's up to the third-party water block manufacturers. We do have a liquid-cooled 5090, but it's not the BTF edition, so.
All right, a few more screws.
All right, sweet. Okay, so I'm like still kind of catching up with all the news from Tokyo Game Show, but Wolverine looks sick.
I mean, that's by far
Brutal.
the best trailer
And I'm
I've
trying
seen
not
in
to
a
get
while.
I'm trying not to get too hyped because it's going to be a few years before those of us on PC can play it, I think.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I will have Hades 2, which comes out today, and Forza Horizon 6 to keep me busy. I'm so hyped. Forza Horizon 6. And they announced that it's going to take place in Japan, which is, I think, what so many people have been clamoring for years.
I think they're even bringing that to PlayStation. So it's like where the console
Yeah,
wars are
they
over. We're seeing all these games on all platforms, and
Yep.
it's nice.
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
So we'll talk about games more in a little bit. Like we said, we've already got our CPU installed. Obviously, it's just a nice little bracket like that. The memory we can install now. But actually, before I do that, one thing that I wanted to show off that's really cool, we can actually install our primary M.2. As our motherboards evolve, we're pretty much nonstop trying to make everything as toolless and as premium and as easy as possible, right? We've got Q-latch design. We have those little switches for graphics cards, and now they just kind of wiggle out. And our M.2s can be actually just clipped in like this. See, this whole piece comes right off. We got to take off the sticky here. And the one inside as well. But I just love how easy they've made it, because I don't know if you ever worried about bending one when you had to adjust the screw and screw it down.
Dude, I lose that screw all the time.
Or that.
I dropped one in my power supply once, and I just sat there shaking it forever to try and get it out. I am forever thankful for the new M.2 Q latches.
Yeah, it's just so incredibly convenient. This is what? 990 Evo 2 terabyte. I've got a 990 Evo 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, and 1 terabyte on this machine. And then should just push this down. Do I have to push this forward a little bit? Yeah, okay. I've actually never used this one. It's slightly different design.
So a couple questions in chat while Jake gets that squared away. Mr. Ken Saiteki asks, when will the ROG RX 9070 XT be released? I don't believe we've announced an ROG variant of the 9070 XT. Right now, we do offer the 9070 XT in both Asus Prime and Tough Gaming variants, but that's all that we currently have. Where can I get the Hatsune Miku products from? Asks Scarlett Anderson. Those, I believe that we have some of those available in our store. It does depend on your region. So if you go to the product page for the products that you want, there should be where to buy links if it is available in your region. But those may still be kind of rolling out. I don't think that they've actually dropped yet. So there may be some links to our store, which is not currently in stock, but there will be a notify me button there. I see the motherboard has a notify me button on it for the US store, but it's going to depend on your region. And I don't think the products have dropped just yet.
So this motherboard is a engineering unit that they used and they filmed with. And I think they broke this. Either that or it broke right now.
Who do I get to go make fun of?
So either that or I'm just doing. No, yeah, this piece just came all the way out. Interesting.
Oh, is it the Q latch?
Yeah. For
That's very strange. That has never happened to me before.
That has never happened to me either. So that's fun. Maybe it was just loose. I'm going to try resetting it one more time. And obviously, there is still the hole for a screw. If you want to have the secure with the screw, you have that option. So we'll just use a screw if we have to. But
Felsmere says, does that SSD spot still share lanes with the GPU lane? I believe, don't quote me exactly, but I believe that only the number 3 slot shares bandwidth with the main PCIe slot. I think the M.2 1 and 2 slots have their own lanes. But it depends on how many SSDs you install and what slots.
Right. See if I have one of those little baby screws on hand. If not, we'll just come back to this. Because like you said, they are easy to lose.
But Waffle Donut does make a good point. That top slot is, if you're going to use a PCIe 5.0 drive, you want it in that top slot. And then you can use the other ones if you have other 4.0 or 3.0 drives.
I believe these are 5.0 lanes as well. So let's actually...
yes.
Here's another fun difference with even the X870E versus the X870E BTF. The X870E, there are actually 4 screws that you have to loosen here. They're the kind of screws that stay captured in the piece of the shroud. This just has the same kind of mechanism where you release there and you pull it out, which I thought was really neat. You can see these Q latches are in place and working properly. That one, I installed it wrong for sure when I put it back in, so I want to try one more time, but I think I need tweezers.
So yes, Jake, you are right that all slots 1, 2, and 3 are all PCIe 5.0, but number 1 is the one that doesn't share lanes with anything. So like you would want to put the fastest drive in there theoretically, I think is what Waffle Donut is saying.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think that
for most people, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference either way. But I get wanting to be the most optimized.
Yeah. Min-max. What it's
Celtic
all about.
Pac-Man says, "What's the story with the ROG Thor Titanium 3?" I'm not sure. I think it's out in some regions, but I'm not sure about the US, which is what I assume you're asking about. That's what people are usually asking about. I don't actually have an answer to that at the moment, but I'm told it should be coming soon. Very soon.
Oh, wow. I'm going to just slide the shroud back on for now. We will revisit that. I mean, honestly, it would be fine like this too, but not ideal.
Is that red controller behind you a custom ROG controller? No, that's actually the Xbox 360 controller. That's very old. I still need to replace a couple of these. I do have... Here's my ROG Raikiri Pro. I just keep that on the table right here because that's the one that I go to most often. And I use it when I'm at this PC too, so it's nice to have it kind of sitting in between. No, those are just old controllers for the rare occasions that I have multiplayer action up here. I have some very old controllers that I can pull off the wall. Is the 5090 Astral RGB? You bet it is. If you look at this picture over here, and you'll maybe see it later when Jake is showing off the build on stream here, but there's an RGB light bar along the edge. Really clean. Looks really good. And of course, RGB doesn't mean it has to be rainbow. You can set it to whatever color you want. Like my PC is all blue for the most part. But the RGB parts allow you to dial in that perfect shade that you want, which is really nice.
Yeah. This is really baffling.
Yeah, Alex, we don't offer an official like ROG riser cable, I believe.
I don't think so, no.
And as such, we used to once upon a time, I think, but not anything recent for PCIe
4 or 5, yeah,
even 4. This might be even this might be PCIe 3. The ROG Strix riser cable. I think this was before my time here. I don't generally like recommending specific third-party products because then it seems like it's an official recommendation from the company, even if it's just something I'm using. So like, obviously I have one in the PC behind me, but I'd rather not say what it is because then if it comes out that company, whatever made it, was like murdering puppies or something, or that riser cable is known to like set fire to the entire neighborhood. Like, I don't want to have the company be responsible for me saying offhand on stream, oh yeah, I use this riser from whatever company. So unless it's someone that we have a specific partnership with, which I'm not aware of any specific ones that we've partnered with for this generation,
Yeah.
I leave it to you to go read independent third-party reviews from your most trusted sources. What are the RAM speeds and the CL of your RAM kit? Good question.
6400 looks like. Man,
Okay.
I'm terrible with RAM speeds. I actually got this RAM a while ago, I feel like.
Yeah, Celtic Patman, this is a pseudo personal build. I mean, it's for work. He uses it to stream on this channel, like games and stuff. But this is Jake's machine, yes. Not something we're giving away or anything like that. Not today.
Today is not that
Yeah, Alex, I was in the same boat. We did a build stream a couple months ago where I rebuilt my little mini ITX machine behind me, and I had to use I just used the riser cable that I had, and it didn't even occur to me that, yeah, this is like a 3.0 riser cable, and I'm using it with a 5090, and that's not gonna fly so well. And also, it was kind of, the riser cable had started to like break in certain spots too. Like it was getting pretty rickety, and so I needed to go replace it. So I know exactly how that goes.
Yeah. 5.0 were really hard to get for a little while too.
Yeah. Is there who is this? Celtic Pac-Man says it's a good card, but I'd rather see it installed in the Helios 2. I would love to see the Helios 2 build, but the Hyperion is also awesome. It's a tough call, but this is the case we're going with today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this case personally. I think they're both, really nice aesthetics in their own ways, but
yeah, they're just slightly different. I did a Helios build in this on this channel a long time ago. The even the Helios 2, it is an updated version of our older case, but
right.
I don't think we've done a Hyperion. Oh no, we haven't done a Hyperion build on this channel before. So
no, we've had Hyperion PCs. There was a Gundam edition Hyperion that I streamed with, but I didn't build it.
I forgot about that.
I didn't build it. I can't remember. The Canadian YouTuber had built that machine.
Yeah.
Snef? I think it was Snef that built that one.
Yep. Yeah. I remember that. Well, that was the Snef Gundam build was before the Hyperion. That was a was a Helios.
That was a Helios. You're right.
That was right when I started working here, actually.
Yeah, that was totally a Helios. Okay. We are gonna put the AIO in the machine now.
Sweet. CPU witness protection streams. The CPU is the 9800 X3D. What else would we use for a machine this baller?
It's true.
Joe Mel, if we have not announced a specific release date for a product, we can't offer it on this stream. That's just one of those things. Those monitors, they kind of come out when they come out, especially because they might go to different regions at different times. The local offices have to get them out to retailers and stuff like that. So I don't think we set a specific time frame for those, but I will double check here. Because one of those, that's the first one that's supposed to come out. So it should be pretty soon. I gotta double check, but I think because we announced a couple tandem OLED monitors, and one of them was going to be the first one, but I can't remember which one it was now. If you go back and watch my booth tour from Gamescom, I think we might have mentioned it there. Yeah, that one should be soon. We were kind of aiming for end of Q3, beginning of Q4 on that, from what I remember. But again, it does depend on a lot of different factors. It depends on what region you're in.
Tangled up a little bit here, so let me just fix that. So the case has a nice removable bracket for any radiator mounting you want to do on the top of the case, which is, I already had the radiator for my AIO connected to
Are you using the fans that came with the radiator?
Yes, these are the stock fans for the Rio 3 ARGB.
Okay.
Or Rio 3 360 ARGB. Okay. And then there's just a single screw. So it has basically gravity is holding it on its place, and then there's a single screw in the front of the case here to lock that in. That is okay.
Celtic Pac-Man says, "Why don't you guys make 144 millimeter controllable fans?" I don't know. I would love those too.
Yeah, we've
We
been asked that
may, but
question
like
a
we
lot.
don't sell a lot of ROG fans separately. The one we currently have is not a RGB. Like the RGB fans that come with our radiators, we don't sell separately. I have been giving them the feedback that we should do that.
Yeah,
because
a
that
lot
would
of
be
people
handy
have asked for
for those of
sure.
us who want a bunch of matching fans. We do have some tough gaming fans that work with AuraSync and stuff like that, but 144 millimeter is also a little bit harder because it's less of a standard size. Like if we were to do that, you would definitely, I think, see 120 millimeter first. Maybe 144 millimeter or 140 millimeter would launch alongside it, but sometimes those come later or not at all. But I have 140 millimeter slots inside my case, so I would also love that. Waffle Donut asks, do either of you guys live near or go to micro centers often? You don't have a micro center near you, do you?
No, they don't exist here. Closest one is
So
Long Island, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't have one near me, but I used to go there all the time. I live in San Diego, so we don't have a micro center here. We did have Fry's once upon a time, but those all closed down, which is unfortunate.
Rest
So
in
we don't have
peace.
anything. I know, R.I.P. Fry's. So we don't really have anything like that right now. But I am originally from Michigan, actually. I'm from Detroit, and so we had a micro center over there. So I used to go all the time in like high school and stuff, and I do miss it dearly. I would love to get one of those down here in Southern California.
I'm gonna need.
We might have one in LA area, but it's just a little bit far for me.
I think I'm probably gonna need an extension for this. This is the
Yeah, they have the
connector for the. I assume it's for the RGB for the AIO.
Yeah, so there's like a hub that comes with that AIO, right?
No, I mean there's just a few different cable connectors. I just don't know if.
Oh, okay. So it's simpler than the one I have. The one I have has this like fan hub, and you plug in like the USB cable and all this stuff to it.
Yeah,
I have. Oh, but you know what? That makes sense. I have the Ryujin.
Yeah,
and it's an older Ryujin with the full screen.
I will worry about that in a few. Let's go ahead and put some thermal paste on. What method should we use, chat? Should we do a P? Should we do an X? Should we do a grain of rice?
Do a J. Jonah Jameson mustache.
A J. Jonah Jameson mustache of thermal paste.
Celtic Pac-Man, I don't know the answer to your question about the 3-pin and 4-pin fans. It might be because if you're like people who buy this case tend to get their own fans anyway. So that might have been one of those cost saving measures for if you're the kind of person who just uses the built-in case fans, you probably don't care a ton about, like a lot of people just don't care about 4 pins and don't go through the trouble of like going through the BIOS and configuring everything. And the people that do that, like myself, have probably bought third-party RGB fans or whatever that fit whatever their ecosystem and their preferences are.
Right.
That's why for some of our cases, we even sell a version without fans and a version with fans.
That's
so
true.
That people who already know that they're going to go buy new fans don't have to pay for fans they're not going to use. I also like to set fan curves. I am very weird about setting all of my fan curves. In fact, we did an episode this year, and I feel like this episode did not get a lot of traffic, but it is one that is near and dear to my heart because we did this whole guide on how to undervolt your CPU and GPU and create your own custom fan curves and stuff for a really quiet PC. I'm still very proud of that episode, even though nobody watched it, because I am indeed one of those people.
It's a bit surprising because I put these brackets on for mounting the AIO the same way that they were on the traditional X87E, but apparently the spacing is different on this motherboard.
Ah.
So that is a surprise.
Scarlett, my dad's from Grand Rapids. I used to go up there all the time as a kid. That's where my grandparents live. Nice place. Richard, I don't believe we're doing a giveaway today, but I suppose I could probably do the giveaway from here while Jake is building, if we wanted to do that.
Yeah, you do have the power to do that.
We can do that in 20 minutes at the
Maybe I
hour.
just put
Not
these
the
on
hour mark.
backwards like a dingus. I don't know. Actually,
Green
really,
Fox asked, "What thermal paste does Jake use?"
I use
I answered
Noctua.
for you, Jake. I took a guess and I said mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. This is Noctua NTH2 3.5 grams of it. I've bought a lot of Noctua components over the years.
I've had some over the years. At this point, I use whatever thermal paste is in my drawer from the last time I got some
And
free
well,
thermal
that's where
paste
this
from
came from.
something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what some of it's probably a little old at this point, but like I don't even remember what I have. I either bought it far enough in the past that I no longer remember, or it came free with some heatsink and it was like in the tests it was good enough. It was up there. But like ultimately thermal paste doesn't make that big of a difference unless you buy something that's really garbage. And so I'm generally perfectly happy with whatever I have. And you know what? I'm pretty proud of that because I've heard some horror stories from people who worked in this industry and were like, after building so many PCs, you give up. And I one time got so desperate that I just scraped the dried up thermal paste from the previous PC and piled it on top of my new CPU. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Let's see if this is going to fit.
Yeah, PTM 7950 is pretty cool, I've heard. I actually haven't used it myself. But we have used some similar stuff on some of our like graphics cards and products like that.
Yeah.
No liquid metal today, Grim Saga.
No liquid metal today. This is like an interesting thing that I hadn't really thought about too much because this case is, there's so much room and there's so much, you have so many options. But the AIO is actually like kind of far forward on the bracket towards the front of the case to the point where it's pulling this a little bit tauter than I might like. And, you know, so with this AIO in particular, you actually have to have the tubes at the bottom because the way the display works, that's the way it's oriented. So I knew that, but I kind of figured this would be the best orientation, but I might want to end up moving these fans back a little bit because there's more room on that track to go. You can't really see it on.
As long as it fits underneath that back fan.
Yeah, there's plenty of room you can see.
That doesn't look too bad, but I can definitely see if you want it to be a little bit looser.
It's like not a problem per se, but
I believe you. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can rotate the display on that one, Celtic.
I don't think you can on this one, unless
you might be able to do it like 180 degrees or something. But because it's not a full screen like the Ryujin, which you can rotate. This is the Anime Vision display, so it's just a matrix of dots.
Correct. So
Jazzord says that case is huge. Will the cables be long enough? So yes, I believe they will, especially because it's BTF and they don't have to go as far. They just connect to the back of the motherboard. But as Jake showed at the beginning of the stream, we do offer some cable extenders for some of the longer ones, like
cables,
the 8-pin for the CPU, that 8-pin. We do often offer an extender for that because the cases are a bit larger, and depending on your PSU, you might not be able to reach all the way back up and around. But I think he's going to be fine without it for the BTF.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Just has to plug into the back.
Right.
I myself am a custom cable mod cables kind of guy.
Yeah, you've always been on that train.
I'm not. You know what? Not always, but I have been for the past few years. I mean, I've been building PCs for 15 years at this point, and I probably only got on that train like 5 years ago.
I think I built my first PC about 20 years ago. I feel old.
Oh, man.
But I don't build them that often.
You beat me to it?
I was building PCs when I was like 17, my first PC.
Yeah.
So it's been 20 years.
I wanted to, but I was not back then.
I had a friend whose family ran a computer shop, and when I say cool. I built it, I really bought the components and they showed me how to build it. Yeah, but I think that counts. All right, so I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to route these guys. I think my best option is just kind of going back through here, and then these are going to both plug into the back because, again, this is the BTF motherboard. There are no connections here. I do still have to figure out this M.2. I'm worried that I broke it or something, but I don't know how I would have done that.
Yeah, you're probably fine.
Yeah, I think we'll just assess it later. But let's go ahead and flip the case up.
I'm checking to see if he can rotate the Ryu 03. I haven't actually used that cooler
I
myself.
know that when it first came out, you couldn't, but that might have changed because it's been a couple of years at least. It's probably 2 or 3 years old. But that is something that I would believe that software update could have changed. So
it depends on how the hardware's laid out.
That's true as well.
This is the
Ryu 3 360.
Oh, this is the old Ryu. Okay.
Yeah, I've had this AIO for technically it's the third PC I've put it in.
Oh wow.
Technically. Even though this is
someone
kind
asked,
of the same.
did Jake remember to remove the plastic cover off of the AIO? And I was like, don't worry, he's had this in a PC before.
Is that a common mistake?
Someone's done everything. If you can think of it, someone's done it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure this one is rotatable, but he could rotate the radiator to the other side.
Oh, yes, that is an option. But okay, I was hoping to find a good spot for this. So we have, this is the fans. And then for the AIO, and this is the RGB. But
there's when you have to pull out the manual to look at the headers.
Yeah, there's this one more from the AIO.
It's from the AIO. It's probably the pump.
Yeah, and
you'll have one cable for the pump, and there should be a pump header on the motherboard, and then you'll have another cable for.
Okay, so the pump header is up here. I think we can reach it. That's why I've been worried. Like, how are we gonna make this?
Oh yeah, and all of those headers on the back too. Yeah, that gets interesting. Banana Fire says, "Is it hard to build PCs?" No, building PCs is easy and very fun.
It's gotten so much easier in the last.
It has. It has also gotten. It depends on the parts you buy. Like the more complex parts you buy, the more complicated it can get. But if you start off simple, you'll get the hang of it real quick, and then it gets really fun because then you can do some pretty cool stuff.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the other side.
There is no such thing as so the AIO is not. This AIO is not technically BTF, but I think the headers are still on the back of the motherboard. So from that perspective, it's BTF. We do actually have. Do we call it a BTF AIO? We have. Okay, yeah, we are calling it a BTF AIO. So that's we actually do. The new ROG Ryu 04. So Jake has the Ryu 03 here. The Ryu 04 is the one with that curved display with kind of that 3D effect. And it kind of hides the tubes depending on how you set it up. So that actually is, that BTF AIO is actually kind of a thing.
The more you know.
The more you know. You can go look at our booth tour from Gamescom, and we showed it off briefly there. I think we showed it off at CES too. Waffle Donut says, Grim Saga says, 15, 20 years, you young bucks. I've been building them since 93. In my defense, I mean, you may still have a few years on me, but my first graphics card update was, I think, in like 1999 or 2000 when I was in high school. Yeah, I was in high school.
Okay.
But yes, my first full build was 2009.
I was able to.
Either of you had. Oh, you found it?
I was able to get into the pump port. Yeah, I had to. There's actually like a slot next to where the motherboard goes, just like a little horizontal slot, and I was able to fit it up through there.
Perfect.
I think it will. I'm just worried about making it as stealth as I can on the front, but I think that'll be fine. We'll worry about that a little bit later.
Waffle Donut says, have either of you personally had any issues using AIOs, like leaks or dead pumps or anything like that? AIOs seem so nice, but I'm more concerned about longevity compared to an air cooler. Great question. I personally have not had any issues. I have run many different coolers over the years. I did air cooling for a long time. I did custom water cooling, and I did have some leaks doing that. One of them was my fault. One of them was not my fault. but I was able to save almost all the parts in the PC both those times. The AIOs I have not had any problems with, actually. I had an AIO way back in the day that was totally fine, and I'm currently using 2 ROG AIOs. I have a Strix LC in this machine right next to me, and I'm using the Ryujin in the mini PC behind me, like I mentioned earlier. Again, we did a build stream on that earlier this year. I've had both of those for some time, at least a year or two, and they are both working phenomenally well. I have nothing but good things to say about them so far. So,
okay, here, let me trying to figure out the best way to show this on stream.
I know it's hard with once you get to the cable parts.
Yeah, like I've got a light shining on and everything, but it's still probably pretty dark because it's black on black. Okay, so a few things that I pre-ran just to kind of speed things up in the build. These are those CPU power supply connectors, and they're real close, but I could probably get them a little bit more snug. I do also have them cable managed, which, oh man, I thought this was going to fit better than it is. Well, I think I'm actually just going to use the adapter that we provide in the case because that will solve the problem. And that's why we include it. So it makes a nice little demonstration. Oops, I just pulled off my lavalier receiver. Hopefully that. Okay. Yep, so it's just little 8-pin connectors. Probably.
What's Tanmaya says, what's the most complex component to install according to you and Jake?
I mean, CPU is the most delicate. That's when you gotta be.
I think they're referring to when earlier when I was saying is building a PC easy? Well, like, yes, it's easy unless you use some particularly complex components or setups, then it gets more complicated, right? Like,
well, liquid
so for example,
is definitely the most complex, but
if you're doing custom liquid cooling, that gets very complicated. Yeah. But AIOs are generally very easy. Now AIOs I will say, easy, yeah. It depends on your AIO though. So like my Strix LC AIO could not be simpler. Super easy to install because it's just RGB on the front. So you just plug the RGB and the pump and stuff in, kind of like Jake's doing, and that's it. Whereas my older Ryujin has, and you guys probably saw me building this and kind of trying to remember how it worked, has like this RGB, it has like this hub. So you plug the AIO into the hub via USB, and then it also has to plug into the PC, but you also have plugs for so like, right, the more plugs you have, the more complex it gets. Now it's totally worth it for that product, right? Yeah. The Ryujin is awesome. It's so baller. But for a first timer, I could see them getting a little bit overwhelmed with it because there are a lot of different cables. Now, if you follow the manual, you'll be okay. But it definitely, like, if you're a first timer, the simpler parts help you kind of get used to the idea. And then once all of that is just like muscle memory, right? Then you can kind of play with some of the more complex stuff and it doesn't feel as overwhelming because you're just trying to get that one thing working. You know, if you mount GPUs vertically, it's just another link in the chain, right? That you kind of have to figure out. I'm trying to think. I had another one in my mind, but now I lost it.
I don't know why I'm struggling so much with this connector. This one spot.
Most complex part is cable management. Yeah, Alex, you're right.
You know, the thing is, well, cable management will always be hard, but with modern cases and modern motherboards and everything just keeps getting easier because we did a stream with Carl Anthony Towns. He's a professional NBA player. And I remember this was like really just good insight for me to see like a non-PC builder build a PC. He was really struggling with installing the radiator on the top of the machine. And like with this case, the bracket comes out. So then you just install the radiator on the bracket and then it's one screw and then it clips in the back and then you're done. It doesn't get easier.
Cases like that are really nice when you can take out a part, install it, and then put it back in. You don't have to get. And so that was the other thing I was going to say. The other, like, I mean, talk about complexity. I don't know if complex is necessarily the right word because it's the same amount of connectors and everything as a typical PC. But if you build a mini ITX machine, those can get harder to build in, not because they're necessarily more complex, but just because you have such a smaller space. And so you've got to, I mean, fitting everything in and like, you know, if you don't have tiny fingers, like I got some pretty small fingers, I can usually fit them in there and get the connectors, but it is definitely harder. Sometimes I got to use like tweezers to like trying to plug in the thing when there's not a lot of clearance. Stuff like that can be tough. A magnetic screwdriver is a must.
Yeah, this case comes with one, which is really handy. Man, I am this is what happens when we do it live. Just random things. Like I can't get this one clipped.
That's the experience.
Keeping it real here for you guys.
That's why I'm here, to keep everyone busy while Jake.
Yeah, I can't see Chad over here either.
But this is the kids. It's okay. That's why I'm here.
My Rats Nest cable routing channel. Hey, look.
You got to get it all plugged in, and then you manage it like it. It's a multi-step process. Especially on a stream like this, I usually don't bother with too much cable management because that's what takes the longest. Like, get it all plugged in, get it booted up, and then I'll go back and clean things up later.
I don't intend to do any cable management on stream per se. Just wanted to. This guy's got to connect.
But the beautiful thing about BTF is that you could just decide not to manage them at all, and no one will ever know.
That's true. I won't do that.
It's all hidden. Yeah, right. Does Jake seem like the kind of person that would manage cables to you guys?
Definitely not.
I am the type A person that you would think manage cables, but I still kind of half-ass it. I'm not going to lie.
Well, once you build so many PCs, sometimes you're just like, it's good enough.
GG247 says, if I had lots of money, I would build PCs all day long. So fun. I felt like that once, and I still do love building PCs, but at the same time, I'm older. I got a wife and kids. I got a demanding job. I'm like, some days I'm like, should I just buy a pre-built? I could. We sell those too.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way to game on a PC.
I hate that.
I don't think
can agree with that energy. Like,
I know, same. But I don't think like when push came to shove, I don't think I could give up building my own PC. Like it's too in my blood. And especially for like this machine behind me, like I wouldn't be able to do anything that cool with a pre-built. So I think I will be a PC builder forever. But Grim Saga says, when I was younger, it would take me like 30 minutes to build a PC. Now with cable management and my hands and my back, it takes me like 3 days.
Yeah, it is.
I feel that too. My last piece, the last build stream we did when I was building my my ITX rig, we did it on the floor because I wasn't building it in a case, so I couldn't do it. I was building it into my entertainment center, so it was a sit on the floor kind of build. And you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for my back. I have some pre-builts because I have PCs connected to all the TVs in my home. That makes sense. I don't know how to say your name. I know you're one of our regulars, but I don't know how to say your name. You decode today.
Yeah, no, I gave up on his name.
But I have a lot of PCs in this house, but I think I've built all of them, with the exception of some of the like mini PCs, like NUC style PCs. Like I have a few of those. Like hooked up to my TV for like media playback and stuff, but I have like a home server and I built that. I built both of these gaming PCs.
Yeah, same. Built my wife's PC. I'm contemplating.
I also have a lot of laptops. I got laptops. I got handhelds, like this one right here. Maybe I'm not supposed to show that yet. You guys didn't see that.
Very hyped.
I'm so hyped.
Okay, so we're making progress. Carol
Paw says, when I got a pre-built, I took it apart to check their work. Yeah, that's fair.
That's hilarious, actually.
I would do the same. I would probably, look, even if I got a pre-built, I'd probably mod it somehow, right? I'd be like, oh, I got to put in this, I have extra hard drives to put in, or I have some of my own cool fans I want to put, something like that. I'm sure that that's why if I were to buy a pre-built, it would be something like the ROG G700,
right,
which uses all standard parts that you can swap in and out. So if I want to upgrade my GPU, I can easily upgrade the power supply too, and it doesn't have proprietary components or anything like that. That's probably what I would do, unless I was trying to do something really specific, particularly in like a small form factor build, in which case I would do like an ROG NUC, or like that ROG G22 is pretty cool because it's like around the size of a console. and I would be willing to give up some of that upgradability for that. But like the ROG G700 is really like kind of more my dream pre-build. Actually, my dream pre-build doesn't exist yet, but our team is working on it.
Oh,
Stay tuned.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm intrigued.
You don't? Did I not show?
I don't think so.
Some cool stuff coming someday.
I've got a couple SATA ports here. These are those 2 hard drives I pre-installed before the stream. I'm gonna plug those guys in. There's 2 more, I believe. Like, I think PCs used to have like 8 SATA ports, but it's just not something that we utilize the way we used to, with M.2s being a thing and so on. So there's a lot fewer on this board. Okay, so these are
Kelsey Pac-Man, I'm not able to release any information about something that hasn't been announced. We can't talk about the next generation of graphics cards until the GPU manufacturers announce the next generation of GPUs.
So this
ROG tablet when? We have an ROG tablet. It's called the ROG.
Yeah.
No, what?
Brain
Jake's
fart.
just trolling
The
me now.
Z13.
The Z13. I mean, it is kind of our answer to the Surface style laptop, right? So like, or Surface style tablet. So this is our 2-in-1. It's a tablet with a detachable keyboard. It's crazy powerful with one of those new AMD Strix Halo chips inside. It's so awesome. But yes, ROG tablet exists. Go check it out. Highly recommended. It's Jake's favorite of our laptop lineup, even though he can't remember the name of it. Yeah, let's do a giveaway.
I can't remember the name of it.
I'm going to do a giveaway while Jake is
probably where the CPU fan goes.
Cooking here. Because I'm pretty sure I remember how to do this. I had to do it like a week ago. Are we making a liquid-cooled version of the BTF 5090? Nothing to announce at this time, but you never know. What? Oh, I can't log in. Wait, maybe I can. Let's see. Is it going to redirect me?
Yeah, I unfortunately.
Yes, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I'm good because I was logged in from when you were on vacation, so I'm good. I can run a giveaway.
There's no chance I can do it.
Waffle Donut says, off topic, but do you think Asus will ever adopt some of the laptop customizability and DIY stuff that we've seen from other manufacturers? Yeah, nothing's ever completely off the table. We're always trying to think of ways to like do things differently. But we also don't want to. I mean, it's hard to go too out there. You have to really invest in something like that, right? You have to know that that's where you're going for the next many years, and it would be relying on partners and stuff like that. What I really like what they did with the Strix laptops this year, because it is in that direction, but not so far that we're creating our whole own proprietary system. Mm-hmm. The Strix laptops now have a completely toolless design in terms of taking the bottom panel off. It's just a latch. Take the bottom panel off. You can upgrade the SSDs and the RAM all without ever touching a screwdriver. I really like that approach for upgradability in laptops, because I think it gives you a little bit of the best of both worlds. But I get the appeal of other options as well. But it also kind of locks you into not being able to innovate more because you're locked into a specific like format for.
That's true.
So I don't love that part. But I understand. There's lots of cool stuff happening, and I love that there's always lots of cool stuff happening in the laptop space. I'll put it that way. And we can all learn from each other and continue to innovate. Where is this? Is it under CloudBot? I can never remember where it is.
CloudBot giveaway is on the top. It's towards the
There
right.
it is.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Let's do some vouchers. Oh, look. The last keyword was Skittles. I'm shocked.
Hey.
That it was somehow candy.
It was Reese's before that. Halloween is coming. I'm excited.
Me too.
Chat, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
Nerds Clusters.
I almost bought them.
That stuff has taken the world by storm, and I didn't realize that it wasn't like, I thought it was just me that like fell in love with those, but apparently it's like it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, and they are so good. It's not pumpkin, but here we go. giveaway for Games Planet vouchers. Type !BTF in chat to win for a chance to win. You have 50 seconds to enter.
Where's that little guy?
Yeah, Grim Saga, it's tougher than it sounds. There's a lot of work behind that, and you do give up a lot by doing that. Someone says, Marty, we have to go. Back to the Future. BTF.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was the original inspiration for the name. I think we call it Back to Front now. I could be wrong, but
I'm not sure. I know that we did call it.
Originally, Back to the Future was part of the original inspiration for the name. All right, time to pick a winner. Wait, what the heck happened? That was weird. There was 1 second left, and it closed it.
It's not always accurate. I mean, it does exactly a minute, but the indicator on the back end isn't always accurate.
All right, well, we're closing now. I see. Pick winner. Here we go. I finally gave in on Twitch. Congratulations, I finally gave in. Please give us your Discord username. I didn't mention this before. You got to give us your Discord username and then join our Discord, which I'm going to pop in chat here. If you want to get, same name of Discord. You are the fastest. That was amazing. Everyone, be like I finally gave in. Join our Discord. I finally gave in so that we can find you and message you. We can't DM you unless you're in our server.
Pretty sure.
But if you join our server, Jake will message you in the future. Jake, I'm just going to send these.
Yeah, that works.
Winner to you on Teams.
That works. Okay.
I can't find Jake's thing. And there are many exciting games on Games Planet for you to purchase with your winnings.
There are.
The story end, that's not how statistics works. It's not how probability works. Everyone has an equal chance of winning, whether you are on YouTube or Twitch.
True. The way you look at it is every user gets a singular ticket. The tickets all go into the same pool. Everybody gets one chance for their ticket of being drawn out of the hat. The digital hat.
Yep.
We're almost there. I'm just kind of like finding odds and ends cables because all the case fans or all the case fans and connectors and stuff are nicely and neatly tethered in a bundle. I actually had to cut 2 of the cords to be able to get in there. Just kind of like trying to identify if there's any I missed unplugging in, and I just found one. And again, cable management is not really the first of my concerns. This guy might need to be. And yeah, this is my first time ever building in a BTF case. It's definitely
Grim Saga.
Different.
Grim Saga says, Jake, fun fact, cords don't work if you cut them.
Fun fact.
Brandon Game says, I'm going BTF next time. Dude, it's funny. When they first came out with this, I was like, oh, this is cool. And it has been really cool to see, especially like in our Discord and places, people get really hyped about BTF. Like it is catching on.
Yeah,
very cool.
I was interested the moment we announced it.
I mean, me too. I just wasn't sure what how many people would be interested, right?
Yeah.
You never know when you're coming out with something like that. You think you have a really cool idea, but you don't know until people get their hands on it.
I don't know if we pointed this out. This is another place we could rack another radiator, mount another radiator. Words are hard.
So would you, if you did that, would you be removing the panel in front, that RGB panel, so that you had, so that you would have airflow then through the case and then out the back?
You have the option, right? So, granted, there's still room for 2 radiators. Not a lot of people are doing 3 radiators. So
probably not.
There's that. All right. I am just a little bit confused as to why I'm struggling so hard with this adapter. So I think I'm just going to abandon it. Then run these CPU power cables without it.
The story end says, looking forward to eventual cableless components so I can have a fully transparent case. Why stop there? I'm looking forward to invisible PC components so that I can have a completely invisible PC.
I mean,
Actually, that kind of, I just stream games and then you can say you have an invisible PC.
it's super interesting to think about the ecosystem beyond that. Like you're memeing and you're joking and saying that you want things to all be cableless and plug into the motherboard. And we might get there, who knows? It's kind of tough when you consider there's so many different manufacturers of components and everybody would have to agree and blah, blah, blah. But look at the NUC. The NUC is this little itty bitty machine that, sure, it's using laptop components for like GPU and stuff, but the thing is powerful.
It's, that is an awesome machine.
And you talk about cable free. I mean, it's more like a laptop.
That's true.
So
that's true. There's like no cables inside because it's all just put together. Okay. You have cables coming out the back, though.
That is true.
How are you going to make those invisible?
Checkmate, atheists.
Oh man, we still haven't put the graphics card in yet either.
Nope. That'll be fun. Take like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know. That's the easy part now.
Just don't know why I'm struggling with this.
Is that the CPU cable?
Yeah, I'm just really struggling for some reason.
It's too much pressure. If we weren't all watching you right now,
dude,
you would have gotten it on the
first try. You guys have no idea how true that is.
That's how that always works.
You have no idea how true that is. Because I went from trying to use the adapter to struggling to get it in there. And here's the weird thing. Like,
I just realized so Excelsior says, do you have the specs of this PC? Yeah, we had it on the other camera view, but we switched. So I'll copy and paste my list of I got a parts list here, Jake. You're good.
We can do that
or you can do that. Here you go. Uh-oh. I hit the character limit. That's not all of them. I should have used tiny URLs. Okay, hold on. Can I fix that? No. I cannot. Huh.
These seem like the wrong shapes.
I wonder if I can use URL shortener to fit it all in.
How is that even happening?
Had a couple of people ask, what's the best motherboard you offer? I mean, it does depend a little bit on what you're looking for. So we get this question a lot. Hey, what's the best laptop? What's the best motherboard? Whatever, right? There are a few kind of at the top of our lineup.
Oh my god.
If you're looking at, where's the article I had on this? Come on, I know I wrote this.
I think I've discovered the problem.
Come on, I know I know this article exists.
I think what's happening here is I believe that when I cable managed this, the two different things kind of got mixed up. Yeah.
You plugged the wrong thing.
You know how they're split? They're 4 and 4?
Yeah.
And there's 2 different bundles of them. I had them mixed up because I had them cable managed and I thought they were together, but...
Celtic Pac-Man, this is actually the ROG Crosshair X870E Hero. So if you want to know the best motherboard we offer, the top of the line motherboards from ROG are going to be the ROG Maximus line, which is Intel, and the ROG Crosshair line, which is AMD. And then within those two kind of families, you have the Extreme, the Apex, and the Hero. And the Extreme, as its name suggests, is probably the top end, the highest end motherboard, right? Kind of objectively. It is the most extreme.
Okay.
The Apex is designed for like professional and hardcore overclockers. It has a lot of things specific. Like for example, it only has 2 DIMM slots, right, to keep the RAM traces as close to the CPU as possible, so you can really pump up those speeds. So it's not necessarily the Apex isn't for everyone necessarily.
No.
I see that mistake a lot, but it's really for people who were overclocking is like the competitive overclocking is what you're doing. Otherwise, the Extreme is the top end board. And then the Hero, which Jake is using, is a little bit more accessible, but still,
has
all
the
around incredible. It has a lot of the bells and whistles. Yeah, exactly. But it's ATX, whereas the Extreme is extended ATX, so you need a slightly bigger case for it.
Right. I would probably choose Hero every time, personally.
I actually have a Hero myself as well. And then of course you have the Strix line of motherboards, which are still premium motherboards, but they are not the absolute top of the product stack. And then below Strix you have like the Asus Tough, Asus Prime, some of the more kind of bang for your buck stuff.
Okay, I was going to try to cable manage that, but I'm going to go ahead and come back to that later. But we have those connected. That was fully my user error because I got confused from them being so cable managed ahead of time. I'm going to plug in the big motherboard power connector here, 24 pin. And then we should be connected.
Your buddy Luminaire is here and has some choice words for your hands. Says Jake has massive manly meat hooks.
It's true. They're not the best PC building hands. They really aren't.
I have rather dainty hands. They're great for building PCs.
Okay, so we are laying this down on its cable, so I'm being very gentle about that. And then we do have these 2 cables coming off the AIO that we're going to have to cable manage, but the time for the graphics card has arrived.
Because it's not, because if it were our new BTF AIO, you'd have slightly more hidden cables from there, but that's still not bad. What I have often done with the AIO cables is I will sometimes run them underneath that kind of chipset heatsink on the side and under the back fans, so you can't see.
I might end up doing that at this point.
That might be the way to go. If you want it to be completely hidden.
I might end up upgrading the AIO eventually too. So we'll see. We'll see. But we've got our Astral 5090. Again, power connectors there have been capped off. And I need to attach our BTF connector, which again comes included in the box. And this is a first for, I think, a lot of us here, seeing a graphics card get connected to the motherboard with no visible cables at all. Simple as that. We just have a few more pins. And of course, I didn't unscrew any of these.
Velsmir says, how hard would it be to 3D print like a special cable raceway to hide those AIO wires? You could.
I probably wouldn't be that hard at all, honestly.
No, it'd be probably very easy.
Actually,
I think you could totally run them under that fan and you would never see them.
Oh, it doesn't fit. I actually have another ROG screwdriver that's a little bit nicer. It also doesn't fit.
You have so many screwdrivers right now.
I know, I have 3 right here. I thought I'd be able to fit it through that hole as like an access hole. But they're all a little bit too fat. I feel like
screwdrivers?
Yeah. I mean, I can go at an angle. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Just if you hit it from an angle, you'll be okay.
Yeah. You know what? I think I have an even smaller screwdriver.
I've got a little stubby screwdriver that's like this tall, but it's kind of fat. So sometimes it fits in there, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's an iFixit screwdriver that Jake is using. I think those also have like a curvy thing that you can use to get in there, but I've never quite figured it out myself.
I do not.
You got it. Don't be afraid. Put your back into it.
I'm just a little surprised the screwdriver that comes with it doesn't quite make it through. Oh wait, maybe I just wasn't trying hard enough.
Never trying hard enough.
That's not the right angle. And these are not thumb screws, which most cases would have.
So Velsmir says, I know that the BT, I assume you're talking about the BTF connector, supports up to 1,000 watts, but how much of that would the GPU be able to make use of? So the GPU that Jake is using here, the ROG Astral RTX 5090, is a 600 watt GPU, thereabouts. So, I mean, currently we don't have a GPU that's going to saturate that line.
Really?
And in fact, our new 30th anniversary 5090 is really cool because you can plug it into the BTF slot, but then also plug in the 16-pin cable and draw, I think it was like up to 800 watts or something for overclocking, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. The ROG Matrix GeForce RTX 5090. We've got, yeah, let me look up how this works just to make sure that I get it right. It is how many watts? How many watts? Yeah, 800 watts. Okay, I was right. 800 watts total when using both connectors, but that's only for the Matrix 5090, that red one that we announced at Gamescom. For this one, you can get all the watts you need through that connector.
Does Matrix 59 even have BTF?
The Matrix 5090?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's BTF. It has the BTF connector, and you can, but if you hook up the BTF connector and the 16-pin cable, instead of 600 watts, you can, since you've got dual power input, you can actually crank it up to 800 watts for overclocking.
That's insane.
Because it's drawing power from two separate inputs. It's pretty cool.
That's hyper enthusiast level right there for sure.
Yes. But that's what the Matrix is for. Yeah, exactly. This is looking fly.
We're getting there. Actually, I think I took off one I didn't need to. But that's okay.
I do that sometimes. It's sometimes hard to line up. Like, which one do I take out for this slot?
Yeah. And I will actually end up using this PCI lane down here for a capture card. I always do one onboard capture, and then sometimes.
Oh, you're still doing a expansion?
Yeah, because I use sometimes 3 capture cards at once, so I like to use the PCI. And that being said, the capture card that I have that's PCI is quite old, but
Me too, Grim Saga. Me too. In fact, when I was in high school, my a buddy of mine who liked to make up parody songs, he did a parody of Pretty Fly for a White Guy, all about me, called Pretty Fly for a Wit Guy.
Pretty Fly for a Wit Guy.
It was great.
I like it. Somewhere I've got a different screwdriver, which plenty of people have narrow screwdrivers. That would be perfect for this. I just don't have one with me.
Do you need a bigger bit in there?
No, I chose a smaller bit because bigger bit seemed hard to get in at that angle. Try the bigger one again, but
I finally gave in and says, if I have 32 gigs of 5600 RAM and I add 32 gigs of 4500 RAM, will it break my PC? Will it be noticeably different? So
can't just add it.
You can sort of like theoretically you could mix and match RAM. It's not recommended, right? Especially if you want it, like you're probably not going to be able to get it all running at 5600. You could maybe get it running at 4500. More likely, you're going to be running it at whatever the JDEC speeds for that generation of RAM are. And even then, like, there's no guarantee that you won't run into issues. But I have seen people do it before.
Okay, this is with a straight narrow screwdriver. Beautiful. That was so.
If it were me, oh, you got it. If it were me, I would sell sell one kit of RAM and then buy a new kit with the amount that you want. That's generally what I would do. Or I would buy the exact same kit. And even then, technically, if you buy so if you have 4 slots and you buy 1 2-stick kit and you buy that exact same 2-stick kit again later to add in, it's not actually guaranteed that you can run all 4 sticks at the advertised speeds. Those are only guaranteed, like, I mean, not even guaranteed, but you're only most likely to get them running at the same speeds if you buy a 4-stick kit that have all been validated to work together. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I personally am running 2 kits of 2-stick G-Skill RAM, so 4 sticks total, but they're from 2 separate kits. Same SKU of RAM, so same speed, same timings and everything, and it does work with XMP, but it's not always guaranteed to.
All right. Well, that's installed. Got our bracket right underneath.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Gently just hugging it. And this is why you want to use the shorter bracket, not the longer bracket, because if you had the longer bracket on, you'd kind of be coming out towards the fan. This is, again, designed for vertical mounting GPUs, and that would
because you vertically mount it, it's going to be closer to the edge of the case.
Yes, exactly.
So you need a longer one.
Yep. This one wouldn't even reach it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll just see if we can.
Are you gonna put the shroud back on?
I'm still have a lot
later,
of cable management to do, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that right now.
At some point, you might.
Yeah, no, definitely that's the goal. I don't think we need to do that on stream, but the shroud.
And the shroud we have, does it have the hole for? Well, I think you have it upside down there. Or the logo's upside down.
Oh yeah, this is what's going on.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And it has the window for the Thor. Perfect. So you can see the little Thor's little OLED through the window, which is awesome.
And then there's another piece to this. There's I think I mentioned this earlier that there's actually, and I think I just lost a screw for this. This is a spot where you can store that screwdriver that came with the case. Just goes right there, and then you just have your screwdriver, and you can even put like a bunch of your screws, like case screws, extra case screws.
Oh, sweet!
Right in here. Just
Dude,
because,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a neat little thing. It's like
I forgot it had that. I knew that, but I totally forgot about that.
Right. So
such a good idea.
It's pretty nifty.
Felsmere says, Jake, you forgot your cables for the power. I can't tell if you're joking or not, Felsmere, but I hope you are.
I'm pretty sure.
We're not using power cables for this because it's a BTF build. Kirill says, anything new about the Raikiri 2 release date or price? Nope, nothing yet. Soon. We'll have more info soon. Yeah, Grim Saga, finding a proper quad channel kit is sometimes a pain in the butt, especially if you like have certain aesthetic goals. Like I have this very cool metallic blue set of RAM, which is why it's a little bit slower than I probably would have liked for this generation of CPU, but I really wanted that sweet blue kit. And I think they did sell it in a 4-stick kit, but you can't always get them quad channels. So sometimes you're just gambling.
I have a red light on here. I don't know if that's telling me that the power is not enough.
I think it just means it's plugged in.
Yeah, probably.
Until you turn it on. Oh, and there's the sweet effect on the chipset heatsink over there on the motherboard. Not the chipset heatsink, the shroud. Yeah, the IO shroud. Not the IO shroud, the VRM heatsink shroud.
So, yep, we can actually see the wattage here on the Thor,
there
and the
it
RGB of the ROG logo, and even that little corner piece. This would be fitted in a little bit more snugly when it's actually locked in properly. Right now, it's just kind of resting in place. We've got the RGB here. Obviously I don't have like a full RGB setup done in Armory Crate yet, as this is a fresh, newly built PC, but I believe these fans have no RGB. The stock fans that come in the case, the Rio 3 fans have their own RGB, but the case itself has some RGB, as I can.
Look at that. Oh, the RGB on the front is so cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking case. So, we did it, chat.
This is hype.
Yeah, I like this a lot. ROG logo, some subtle RGB. I actually think just looking at it, the side level, the side profile, I think the RGB just in the top and the RGB here and a little bit on the memory, and obviously the Astral is going to have its RGB in here. This kind of gives like lighting just from the top that gives the case glow. I think I'm happy with that because I didn't want this to have
I like it.
too much RGB. It is a massive case. It is truly huge, but you can just make everybody else feel inadequate when they see your case.
Yeah, that's what this is all about, right?
Post on Discord the final build weight. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be over 60 pounds.
Someone calculated the cost of all the parts earlier in chat.
Oh, what? How bad was it?
It's some damage. It's some damage. It's hard on the old wallets. You need multiple wallets, but it is the ultimate hidden cable PC. So,
I mean, yeah, there's something truly premium about this.
Yeah.
And even this like the 1600 watt power supply, it uses a different cable. Like the normal cable that you plug into your power supply does not work in this. It's got a different connectors. It's bigger. It's beefier.
Got to feed all that power.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, obviously, I have a lot of work to do still when it comes to cable management. I don't think we need to do that on stream. We've been on stream for an hour and a half, which is a little bit long for Pulse as it is, but hopefully we can get everything squared away and up and running for Silent Hill tomorrow, because the goal is to be streaming Silent Hill and showing off performance on this PC, 22 and a half hours from now. So
yeah, so if you guys want to see the final build, be sure to follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's do one more giveaway before we leave.
Do it.
Why not? Let's see. What should this be? If I really so it was like, yeah, this is a long ROG Pulse stream. And if I really wanted to mess with you guys, I would make the keyword long with multiple O's, so you had to count how many O's were in it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm
gonna go off on a really random note while you set up the giveaway. If anybody's ever seen those Japanese gummy commercials where it goes long, long man, there's a whole series of commercials that have a story built into them where there's this guy and his wife is potentially having a affair with him and these are like for a candy in Japan, right? It's a series of commercials where there's a story and there's an end, and it's like the funniest thing ever. Cinema,
dude, multiple people know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like you can watch the compilation. Seguru Gummy is the name of it. I used to have that long, long man soundbite with the animation of the guy pulling up the long gummy as like my resub notification on my personal Twitch channel, right? If you resubbed for a year plus, it would show that on screen because I thought it was hilarious. I finally, I think it was like that morning, I got pushed that video on Instagram. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Good times, good times. I went to the store and I saw it in the store and I bought it. Terrible snack.
Oh,
I was so disappointed.
Guys, the keyword is clean, exclamation point clean, because when Jake is done, this is going to be a super clean build. Super clean, thanks to BTF.
Oh, dude,
you have 1 second left. There we go. All right.
I mean,
let's pick a winner. Mana Cloud on Twitch. Congratulations on your win. Please give us your Discord username and then go join our Discord in order to collect your winnings, or should I say get sent your winnings in an electronic mail from Jake.
Guys,
actually direct message.
I'm just over here appreciating the build for the first time, looking at it myself. Can't wait to get these doors on it. Oh my God. Whitson, I was nervous about going with a bigger case, but it's going to be worth it. This is so sick.
I know you were nervous. I knew it was going to end up sick. Mana Cloud, just tell us your Discord username in chat, and then join our Discord at the link that I posted above. I'll post it again here. Join our Discord server, and then send us. Okay, you've got. Okay, so hold on. I don't know if this is right because this is. So it says Mana Cloud, but he's got the number on it. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
what
if
we
it
want.
has the 4 characters, then that's not your Discord ID anymore. That's your
Well, so if you click your Discord user, if you like go to Discord in the bottom left corner and you click your username, um, it'll or you hover, even if you just hover over it, it should show it. So you have your display name on top, and then underneath that will be your Discord username.
Can I give us a closer look at the machine one time? Yeah, sure. See if my headset cable reaches. I chose a different headset that's got a really long cable for today specifically. But yeah, super cool. I mean, this is a pretty unique thing with our power supplies, and you're not going to get that window unless you're using one of our cases. I think that's really cool. Obviously, the RGB isn't lit up here on the Astral right now. When we're gaming tomorrow, that'll all be sorted. Love this. Love this. You know, I'm actually really kind of excited. I think my last build, I went with that really common thing. I went to Leon Lee 011DXL. A lot of people a couple of years ago were building with that cube front glass. You know, you've got that perforated glass on the front and the side. It's a really, really common thing. They even have a one now where the whole top can be glass as well, even more of a fish tank. And it was cool. And I love the Infinity fans. I thought it was really cool, but I'm over it. It really just like is an aesthetic that I had fun with, and I think this is a very welcome change.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. The having no GPU power cable makes a big difference in that super clean look. Because the other ones are a little bit easier to hide, but that GPU one is hard to hide.
Yeah, we're going to be gaming on this build tomorrow. That is the plan. But yeah, I agree. Yurako today, we can never say your name. It's always something because, like, okay, previously I had the power cable going down beneath, and then it was pretty clean after that. But just going down and beneath, it's breaking the RGB
covers
line.
up one of the coolest parts. Yeah,
right. It's breaking the RGB line. So by cleaning that up, BTF is worth it just for that. And now I want a BTF AIO, but that's my own problem. I will suffer and survive with that one. I'm looking at the mistakes I made. I missed one motherboard screw right there.
Celtic Pac-Man says that's a memory initialization error. You may have to check that.
Huh?
Or it's having trouble detecting your RAM.
It's having trouble detecting what? The RAM?
Your RAM.
I probably didn't see it properly. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. I mean, I've got work to do on this build anyways, but congrats to the winners of the giveaways today. Like we said, the plan is to play Silent Hill F on this machine tomorrow. So with any luck, we will be doing that. If that doesn't work out, then I'll play it on a laptop.
Yeah, there you go. And this machine will make an appearance when it is finished on this channel. So guys, follow, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Mustache is out.